we have rising electricity demand, and we must ensure that our grid's capacity meets that demand. Georgia benefits from a vertically integrated energy system, which I believe delivers reliable and affordable power tailored to our state's unique needs. Nuclear energy plays a vital role in this equation. My district is the location of Plant Vogtle. We're very proud of this achievement. It's the nation's largest clean nuclear energy facility, the first 2 new reactors built in over 30 years. And it exemplifies our commitment to sustainable, dependable power. Mr. Asthama and Mr. Dewey, while state and federal efforts have aimed to prevent the premature closure of nuclear power plants, some facilities have nonetheless shut down earlier than anticipated. If those plants had not been allowed to close, what effect would they have had on wholesale energy and capacity prices, and how would open plants have impacted consumers in your region? Mr. Aspen.
Yeah, we need more nuclear, and if we had it, it would, other things being equal, result in lower prices.
Okay, Mr. Dewey?
Same situation in New York. The closure of the Indian Point plant was deemed to be a safety issue by New York State as a policy matter. That eliminated 2,000 megawatts of carbon-free supply close to New York City. That would have certainly did impact capacity prices.
Okay. Mr. Curran, Mr. Vegas, Congress has been working to speed the licensing and deployment of nuclear reactor technologies. Are either of you working to develop incentives on how prices are formed to encourage investment in the very long-term assets nuclear power provides to the systems?
Yes, Congressman Allen, we are looking at opportunities inside of the Texas State Legislature to incentivize the development of nuclear power in the state of Texas.
Okay. Mr. Curran? Oh, Ms. Curran, I'm sorry.
That's okay, just making sure it was me.
Yeah.
So in MISO, our states are largely vertically integrated, and so it is the state utility regulatory commissions that are making those resource decisions. So while our market signal does provide information about the overall supply-demand balance, ultimately those choices are made in the states.
A question for all of our witnesses. Nearly 20% of our nation's electricity is generated by 94 nuclear reactors constructed 40 to 50 years ago. These reactors represent enduring assets, continue to deliver significant value long after the visionary decisions to build them were made. Today's market conditions, however, would likely discourage companies from pursuing such generational investments. As states grapple with rising power demands, they are seeking innovative tools to drive the deployment of next-generation nuclear facilities. So I offer this question to all of our witnesses. How can these potential state actions fit within your market, starting with you, Mr. Aston?
Yeah, I'd like to clarify about half of our states are actually vertically integrated, where the states can make that decision on what they want to build. And in the other half, it's based on the market. But I do think it's difficult for private capital to build nuclear power plants today. It's just really difficult. It's very risky and very expensive. And so I think if we as a nation want more nuclear power, we should think about ways to support it federally.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Manuel?
Good question. It really comes down to the states. I mentioned in my testimony that the states have the ability to select resources and make longer-term commitments to certain resource classes. There is renewed entry in small modular reactors in New England, so there's conversations happening in state legislatures and amongst the governors. And so, ultimately, I'd make the same point Ms. Curran made, which is the ISO does not select these resources. It's really up to state policymakers to decide how they want to go about incentivizing or contracting for certain resource types.
Yeah. Ms. Curran?
Yes, I have nothing to add to that.
Okay. Mr. Dewey?
New York State has initiated a blueprint process for exploring the development of new nuclear, specifically small modular reactors. We would welcome that from a grid operations standpoint, and with our all-in approach towards generation, we think would be a good mix for our fleet.